Corrosion analysis in different cookware materials. Introduction. Achieving a sustainable energy management system requires maximizing efficient use of energy resources, coupled with the preferential use of renewable energy sources. It's particularly necessary to introduce improvement in the policies of renewable energy and energy efficiency in households. Within this context, the General Assembly of the United Nations has declared the Decade of Sustainable Energy for All. This resolution tries to improve the statistics about 1.3 million people worldwide who still live without electricity, and that more than 2.6 billion people are really traditional biomass for cooking and heating. Several studies have been performed on clean cooking facilities using electricity. In this regard, it has been observed that electric coils stoves have low efficiency and high power consumption. For this reason, they have not been considered had not a good policy alternative option for an efficient clean cooking facility due to their low efficiency and high power consumption. Induction stoves seems to be a better option because they present to improve cooking with a higher energy efficiency based on electricity at home and some local energy production. Induction stoves were selected because of their several advantages in comparison to traditional stoves. The most important advantages are energy efficiency, energy safety, no waste of energy when cookware is removed from hot, automatic cut-off function in case of overheating, and no emission of harmful gases. The main impact of the energy mix change of the Ecuadorian society is the development of the program of efficient cooking. This program objective is to minimize fossil fuels usage and to reduce LPG subsidy. Until now, the government of Ecuador subsidized of LPG for the population. In Ecuador, 15 kilograms of LPG bottle cost $1.6 for use, while in neighbor countries, this price is 30 times higher. That means that the total cost of the subsidy for the country is $690 million per year. And the total cost caused by smuggling lies around 20%. In addition, about 78% of the domestic demand for the LPG bottle is imported, which creates a major deficit and therefore a significant outflow of national funds abroad that considerably affect the balance of trade in Ecuador. So the government aims to increment local electricity production through new hydropower infrastructure to partly sustain the national cooking energy consumption and display the manner imported and subsidized LPG consumption. The efficient cooking program is also related with the idea of clean cooking related with reduction of harmful gases emission in the kitchen. Perhaps the most striking feature of corrosion is the immense variety of conditions in which occur and the large number of forms in which it appears. Numerous handbooks of corrosion data have been compiled that list the corrosion effect of specific material environment combinations. Still, data cover only a small fraction of the possible situation and only for specific values of study involved. To prevent corrosion, to implement corrosion phenomena, or the predict the outcome of a corrosion situation for conditions other than those for which an exact description can be found, that engineer must be able to apply the knowledge of corrosion fundamentals. Laboratory corrosion tests are used to predict corrosion behaviors. When service history is lacking and time of budget constraint prohibits simulate service field testing. They can also be used as a screening test period to simulate service testing. Laboratory tests are particularly useful for quality control, material selection, materials and environmental comparison, and the study of corrosion mechanisms. The purpose of this research is to see how different materials for cookware will be affected when introduced into a salt spray chamber. This test tries to create conditions similar to a cooking with salt. A wrong change of the material can lead in an inadequate life cycle assessment of the pot. The following test was conducted using the observational method applied to the three kinds of induction pots. Each one is made of different materials. These test methods cover a production for evaluation the ability of sintered material, stained fiber, steel part, or specimen to resist corrosion with immersion in a sodium chloride solution. Corrosion resistance is evaluated by one of two methods. In method one, the stainless steel part specimens are examined periodically, and the time of the first appearance of staining or rust is used to indicate the end point. In method two, continued exposure to the sodium chloride solution is used to monitor the scent, corrosion, and functional time. Once the data was obtained from the mentioned tests, their respective analysis was made using the standard test method HTN-B8905 standard test method for performance of range up. Result. The results according to the standard HCTN to evaluate corrosion resistance show that stainless steel and enameled cast iron pot present a lower corrosion percentage. Meanwhile, aluminum pots present a higher inside the corrosion. In the end, the pots that showed the higher corrosion percentage inside outside was the one was made of aluminum. After analyzing the obtained result, it was possible to determine that it's not too good when pots present a minimum percentage of stain or rust. The aluminum pot showed a little of oxidation due to one material choice. It's not suitable for food, while enameled iron and stainless steel pot did not present a minimum percentage of stain or rust. Conclusions. Once that, the obtained results were analyzed, it was possible to establish that pots that showed the lower oxidation percentage were the ones made from stainless steel and cast irons. This is maybe the aluminum pots showed the oxidation because the wrong aluminum choice for the manufacturer because they use recycled aluminum instead using aluminum alloy suitable for food. Thank you very much.